Who am I? Basically no one. But if I'm being honest, I do really care about the success of women. There are 5 points I'm going to talk about today that I think will transform you from someone who is suffering from being unnoticed, unappreciated, unvalued, and honestly not understanding why people are leaving you in your life or you're not attracting what you want, into someone who doesn't even have to try and just kind of gets attention. So I've thought of 5 really valuable ways to level up as a woman. We're going to be talking today about how to develop greater compassion, intelligence, health, how to be a secure person, and how to communicate like a boss. Let's go. First one's compassion. Most important thing is having love for someone else, and I truly believe that is the most powerful vibration, emotion, energy in the whole universe. It's healing, it's uplifting. People want more of that in their life. Every single living creature. So when you become someone who has compassion, people are going to want to be around you because they feel that love. I think one of the best ways to show this to even strangers that you're just meeting is having active listening. Truly tuning in to what they're saying and listening for ways to connect your life with theirs. This could look like someone mentions they have a dog and you get excited. Oh my gosh, I have a dog too. What's your dog's name? Getting curious about their life and making those connections. The second one is having empathy, similar to compassion, but having empathy means really feeling into their life experience. I think strangers are pretty forthcoming more often than not about struggles they're having. I mean, at least for me, I experience people kind of just like throwing it out there. Oh my gosh, my husband's a lazy piece of shit and driving me crazy. You know, they'll just drop these bombs. And to really catch those and be like, oh, that must be really hard. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Maybe you relate and you can bring up an experience. I know what it's like to feel like you're carrying all of the weight, and I'm with you. And I think if you can connect on someone's struggle, you instantly gain trust. And finally, I think just generally caring about what people are saying, which can look like remembering what people have said. I don't have the best memory, but I do try to remember what people are talking about. For example, I go to physical therapy, and one of the people that work with me mentioned they're getting a crown installed and they're very nervous about it. It was easier for me to remember that because I was actively listening and empathizing with that already. The next time I came in, I asked her, how did it go? She lit up and told me about how horrible it was and terrifying, but it built trust, connection, respect. We all need love and connection. The world needs more of it. So if you can provide that, people will be thirsty for your presence. Okay, let's talk about something a little more interesting. Intelligence. Knowledge is power, and I'm not just talking about a college degree. I'm talking about diving deep into things that you're passionate about, curious about. This could look like watching YouTube videos about space, marine biology, mechanics, psychology. The other day, I woke up and I was curious, what is our trash system like? And it was fascinating. You may think it's useless, but it's really not. The more you know, the more connections you're able to make in everyday life situations. Personally, I've been branching out in my reading material. I used to be strictly a fantasy consumer. I've branched out to nonfiction historics. I've been learning about the history of America, and honestly, it strokes my ego a little bit. I feel more accomplished. It gives me more confidence that I am smart and cool. I could be totally wrong. Feeling like you're cool and feeling proud of what you do inevitably allows you to show up in the world in a way that embodies being confident and kind of cool. Moving on to our next point, becoming a lover of words. Unfortunately, the word for being a lover of words is logophile. There are tons of apps that throughout the day send you new words that you can learn, and you can even pay for versions that do games to help you learn them. But even just reading books expands your vocabulary significantly. And it's a natural way to implement those words into your brain without trying to force it. Whenever I see a new word that I love and don't know, I write it in my notes in my phone and refer back to it and try to practice using it in sentences. And I really think it's a great way to show up more professionally and eloquently in the world. Finally, I don't think this is talked about enough, but intuition and wisdom is a form of intelligence, and it's an extremely valuable one. Intuition is all about trusting yourself, and that's a whole skill set that I have had to learn the hard way. Being intuitive is applied to everyday situations, going into the world and instinctively knowing what people's motives are all about. And then having the wisdom to know how to apply yourself in certain situations. We can find wisdom in many different sources, whether it's through your religion, philosophy, or maybe it's by connecting with nature and observing the wisdom that is all around us. However you find your wisdom and connect to your own personal intuition, feed into that and prioritize making time for that. Because the more you strengthen that skill, the sharper it's gonna be. And that's gonna allow you to go through life like a snake. And I say that in a good way. I'm even wearing my snake necklace today. Snakes are highly intuitive. Okay, point 3 is health. This is very important. People don't want to be around people that are sick, and I know that's brutal. It's the harsh reality. I struggle with my own health issues. It's not that you have to be perfectly healthy. It's important to put in the effort to take care of yourself. It's attractive. That looks like prioritizing getting a good night's rest, eating a healthy diet with whole foods, and avoiding processed junk, exercising and moving your body, moisturizing and washing your face when it needs it, taking a shower when you need it, basic things like that, and showing up in the world in a way that says you take care of yourself. Another aspect of health is mental health. In fact, it might just be the most important, because if you're not healthy up here, you're probably gonna struggle being healthy in your body. It does require a certain amount of discipline and commitment, or devotion. I tend to like that word better. It's a little more feminine and less intimidating. But having a devotion to self-care means having self-awareness. When you are starting to get overstimulated, taking a step back and doing what you need to do to calm your nervous system. I get stressed all the time. This is something I actively have to do on a daily basis. And that looks like taking a hot shower. It looks like stepping out of the room and taking some deep breaths, putting on some rage music and screaming my head off. Whatever you gotta do, prioritize your sanity. And finally, this might be controversial, but your appearance has a big impact on whether or not you look healthy. That includes the clothes you wear, makeup, hairstyles, and even just your energy and how you hold yourself. This is controversial because I think it's annoying that statistics say that a woman with makeup will make more money than a woman without makeup on. But it is our hack. It's our secret weapon. We paint our face, we wear our mask. You know what? Why not own it? Why not utilize it when we can? Now, I do not wear makeup every day. In fact, most days I do not. But if I know I'm showing up in the world to maybe meet new people, I know that's an important time to make a good first impression. So I put in the effort. First impressions matter way more than the rest. So it's almost like they still think of you highly even when you're not wearing makeup afterwards. I don't know, but it works. Psychology, man, humans are weird. I've also noticed you don't have to wear makeup to look put together. Even just wearing a fashionable, intentional outfit creates the same effect. People are like, oh, you're cool, you have style, you put effort into your appearance. I respect that. You must be kind of successful in some way. You must be kind of healthy in some way, because you're able to do that and not just show up in your sweats. And that is acceptable too. I live in my sweat. This is the rare occasion that I'm actually wearing clothes, but it's intentional. Next, we have security. Now, security means a lot of things, but I think emotional security is really important for women, And I think a big one for me personally, I got a fiery personality and I deal with insecurities. And I've done a lot of work to not be toxic. I think that's really important to contain yourself and learn ways to cope healthily. Women tend to have more dramatic hormonal fluctuations, and that can feel and look like a roller coaster. I've learned healthy coping skills. I try to take responsibility for my own emotions. That doesn't mean you can't express your needs or get support from a partner, but it's extremely important not to be dependent on them to regulate you. I think the biggest thing is having self-awareness, noticing when you're dysregulated and trying to get back to regulation before communicating. Part of being a secure person is being confident, knowing who you are and not needing to seek external validation. Sometimes we walk into a room and we don't even realize we're seeking validation. We're trying to impress someone by showing them our photography or trying to find music that they like. That's a very specific example because I noticed someone else doing it to me in a very and I could feel that they are insecure. People at the end of the day are going to be able to sense that kind of thing. It makes them want to retreat because it doesn't feel safe. Insecure people, unfortunately, are not as safe as secure people. Hurt people hurt people. If you're constantly in a state of defensiveness and reactivity, you're more likely to hurt someone. Having confidence looks like walking into a room with a grounded presence. You're not avoiding eye contact or fidgeting with your hands. You have gravity. You are stable. You don't care what other people think of you. You know you've got you. Their judgments don't reflect your character. Finally, part of being secure is being whole, not needing someone else to complete you. As long as you're working towards this, I think we're okay. I think the goal is actually to become interdependent. I'm sure we've all heard codependent, which is overly relying on someone to meet your needs, not being able to function without the other person making you feel better. We've heard independent, not needing anybody to support you. I don't need no man kind of energy. And then there's interdependent. And interdependence is actually the best for relationships, deep, romantic, connective relationships. It's having the ability to say, I care about you and I don't want to do things that hurt you, so I'm gonna try not to do things that hurt you. And I hope you do the same. When the other person hurts you, you're able to come to them and say, I don't know if this was your intention, and I'm gonna assume it wasn't your intention to hurt me. But when you did this, it made me feel small, unseen, whatever it made you feel. Hopefully, the other person is able to say, I'm so sorry, that wasn't my intention, and I don't want to make you feel that way. So next time I'm gonna try to do it in a way that doesn't hurt you. That is interdependence. And that is being whole. It's not needing someone and not needing someone, but being vulnerable and honoring your truth with someone. And finally, we could probably write a book on this topic, but communication. I think women have a history of needing to communicate in roundabout ways to manipulate and try and get what we want because we weren't able to be direct. We were shut down. We weren't allowed to have the same rights as men for many, many generations. Now we're finally in a generation where we're able to open our own bank accounts. We're able to buy our own house. We're able to vote. I think we still carry some of the same communication habits. I think that's actually hurting us. Women in general need to work on being more clear and more direct. I understand why we are not. It was our survival instinct. But I think now it's beneficial to be very clear. Instead of, what's your plan for next Friday? We really haven't gone out a lot lately, and then we get upset if they don't say a date. Hey, I want you to take initiative and plan a date for us next week. I would really appreciate that, and that would make me feel really loved and cared for. That is clear communication. We can't expect people to read our minds. We as women want our minds to be read because then we feel like they care and they really know us. But truth is, we have to communicate clearly. Another thing I absolutely struggle with, try to be simple and focused. Yeah. I love to take people on an emotional story of my whole experience because that makes me feel like they're having the opportunity to really understand my experience fully. But I've noticed what that ends up doing is making people feel really confused on what I'm actually trying to have them understand. The more focused and simple the point, the more they will understand and see you. An essential part of communication is being real. We need to own up to our wants and our needs, our desires, and our boundaries. If we are feeling disrespected, we need to communicate that. If we want that date, we need to communicate that. If we need some space, we need to communicate that. If we don't like a person, we don't have to pretend. I understand there's a little bit of social politics that is just a reality of the world we live in, and it's advantageous to have allies even if we might not be compatible with them. It's our responsibility to be authentic, know your limits, and try to be as true to yourself as you can. I don't know. These are the things I'm working on. I've learned along the way, and I have noticed changes in how people see me when I show up. I demand respect and attention without having to ask. I'm really grateful for that, and I really genuinely want other women to experience that and understand their worth and their value and know how to have more power and operate with more power in life. Let me know if this was interesting, helpful, and next time I'll have my nails done, so look forward to that. Bye. What does that say? Storage low, tap to manage.